Hello all. We are going to talk about the last 3, 4 pages of the book. And on page 3-44, you will see referential integrity. And if you look at figure 3-72, it is there. You see that there is a query, and you see it is written a relation on also figure dash 370. It is on database tools. Here it is. I click on database tools, and then there is. You see that here is talking about relationships. If I double click on that, I want to have two tables here, one table owners and one table patients, which it was already here when I clicked on it. In case if it is not here, you have to click on owners here, and you have to click on patients, and then you will see these two tables showing in here. Now, here you see owner ID here, and you see owner ID here also. These two are almost the same. The owner ID here should be the same as this in this table. In table patients is the same as the owner's ID in owners. Therefore, I take this one. I hold on to hold on to the mouse, right mouse button, and drag this one and bring it and drop it on top of this owner ID to tell the Excel that these are the same. And of course, if I click create, I click enforce referential integrity, cascade update, and I click create. Therefore, there will be a relationship built between these two tables. And after doing that, that's the same as what you see in figure 3-73. Now, if you look at figure 3-74, it wants you to click save button, and then it says that when you create this integrity, then it asks you to open owners table. Here is owners table. Now these are, because they are related, if I click owners table, as soon as I click owners table, do you see these plus signs have been added because we built a relationship between these two? And if I click on this, suppose 01, you see that it is coming from, one of them comes from the one table and another one comes from the other table. These are all done because of we created that relationship. And therefore, that is a feature we wanted you to know. And this is almost, that the entire book. Fortunately, we were able to complete the chapter. On the end of the chapter. I know that these two last chapters of Excel are somewhat time consuming, and therefore, regarding the assignments, I will tell what we are going to do at least for this week. And well, as I said, we want also to cover library services. That's one of the outcomes of this course. And therefore, those of you who have not completed some of the assignments, we want you to go ahead and do the assignments. And then this week, we will try to heavily rely on videos that we are going to post on the discussion board. And I know that some of the students have minor challenges completing if I put too much pressure on students to complete the end of the chapter problems. Of course, they have to understand what we covered during the module, during these videos. And if the students, absorb that, they will easily be able to do the end of the chapter. But at the same time, I'll try to, for this week at least, I want to put a lot of emphasis on this particular chapter. It covers a lot of good materials. But at the same time, I want to make sure that you all see enough videos, and then therefore for this week I will try to heavily rely on the videos and make sure that students post enough of videos to cover every subject of this chapter, to make sure that you learn it by by watching and spending time by looking at the videos to have a grasp of what this chapter is all about. And then hopefully we will, end the semester. As you all know, the semester will end in 2 weeks. And as I said, you are those of you who have been coming to this website, posting on the discussion board. I see that almost all of you have been doing great, and I am pleased that those of you who have been active in the class did well, and that's very encouraging. And I strongly recommend that you all continue learning these subjects, and these are applied. You can use a database in many other fields in organizations that you work, and you don't need necessarily to be in the computer field to use Excel, to use Access, to use PowerPoint, and these are things that can apply to many organizations. And many of the high school graduates, many students know somewhat about Excel, know a lot about PowerPoint and Word, but they don't know as much about Access. Therefore, we want you to definitely, if you get an opportunity, we usually offer Access as a face-to-face class, and it is offered usually in spring semester, and usually from 12:30 to 1:45. Those of you who like to take Access online, you may. We are offering courses through, we have some students called transient students. Transient students are those who take Eastern courses at other colleges. Let's say if you suddenly say you want to take Access online, you like Access, then even if we don't offer it online here at Eastern College, you can talk to your advisor and they will put you in Northern College. Northern West Virginia Community College is a sister institution that we put sometimes our students in online courses of Northern College. Therefore, I recommend that to look for their website, and suddenly you will find their schedule. You will find their online courses. And sometimes you might not be a computer major. If you go to their website, you will find what courses they are offering in online format, and you can take courses through them. One issue regarding them taking courses from them, if you are full-time at Eastern College, taking 12 credit hours, you end up paying, let's say, $1,500 tuition, for example, to Eastern. But if you take your fifth course with Northern, in that case, you have to pay Northern also. And that tuition for that one course would be maybe $500-600. They have some other additional fees. However, if you take 3 courses at Eastern, 1 course at Northern, that makes you full time, and most likely you end up paying for 3 courses at Eastern and 1 course for Northern. Therefore, in that case, it won't be as expensive as what you have in mind. And that's why we strongly recommend that you use your computer skills to do research, do research about the colleges and universities in West Virginia. One of the components of this course, one of the outcomes of this course is to make sure that the students are good with their research. And as you learned about this course, you have seen that even if your teacher doesn't explain well, for example, you can always go to the internet and find excellent videos. And let me give you an example why knowing how to do some research is going to save you a lot of money and a lot of headache. For example, I have one of these Toyota Prius cars, and I did switch the car switch to start the car and car key. These car keys, usually of these cars, cost $500. Assuming you have a copy that you can take it to the dealer. Both of my car keys, were damaged, and I went to the dealer and they told me they are $500 each, and I had to pay $1,000 for 2 keys. And then these are based on assumption that I had a copy to take it to them, and they make it from that copy. I had the damaged copy, I could take it, and they would have charged me $500. If I didn't have the copy, I had to tow my car to take it to the dealer. And in that case, they would have charged me $1,000 to make keys. When my keys went bad, I said, okay, I am not that much of a handyman, but I said, okay, I'm going to do my research. I went to YouTube and typed Toyota Prius, mine is 2005. I put 2005 key damage or whatever. And suddenly I found some very good videos that they told me that, oh, you don't need, if your key is not that much of work, your key is not working. This is the way you have to do. Take a knife and try to, pop both sides of the key. That way it opens up. It opened up. And then inside of it, there is something like similar to the motherboards of the computers. It's a small chip type of thing. It said that take that chip off and then go online, and there are key fobs that are about $11, $12. And in fact, I went and bought the key fobs, two key fobs, each one of them $11. And I put them, and in fact, they were made by China. And even they had those very small screwdrivers because it has very small screws. And it told me what to do. And then it was very easy. It was not difficult. I didn't need to know a lot about, mechanics or, computers. Or it was a matter of just watching it for 2-3 minutes and see how they are doing it. Then I went and ordered, as I said, $22 to two of them. And I took the chips off from these key fobs and put them inside those. And both of them now are working, which means rather than paying, $1,000 to the dealers, I ended up paying $12, $20, $25, and I learned how to. Therefore, sometimes there are a lot of problems, and it all depends on if you can do a good research, and if you can find the answer to the problems. And that's why you constantly want to understand the concept of research. In this axis, you learned a lot of those wild cards you used. They can help you with doing research in Google. Therefore, you have to learn, to improve your skills of doing some research. Next week, we are going to talk about library services. And again, in there, we do some research as well, and therefore we want you to as much as possible to see how the wildcards work, how to utilize Google. I used to take students to the Google website and show all the services that Google provides. And I strongly recommend. We didn't have, or maybe if I get next week a chance, maybe I create some videos telling what Google can do for you and all the good services it is providing. Because if you learn about them, you save a lot of money. The people who are computer skilled, they can financially do very well because they know how to save money. They know how to do research. We already talked about how to do some research about coronavirus. You get a lot of good information, and therefore we strongly recommend that the students, to improve their computer skills, not necessarily because of taking, because they are taking courses, because it's going to help them in terms of their daily life, and the more you know about these computers, the more productive you are going to be. Particularly, we didn't get the chance. Maybe we did talk about the class. One of the areas we didn't cover as much about the legal complications that we want you to be aware of. And one of them, suppose copyright issues, or there are a lot of other activities, unlawful activities is taking in computer. You all have to be aware of it, and problems that the people can run into if they are not. We always think that the issue of fraud is the only legal problem in computers, but it's not just fraud. Everything we can get ourselves into trouble if we are not using the computer properly, if we don't know how to use them. And therefore, the more you know, the more we know about computers, the more productive we are going to be. And I strongly recommend that if you have the opportunity to take additional courses, even if computer is not your major, I strongly recommend to take additional courses. And as you know, at Eastern, anytime you take more than 12 credit hours, the extra courses you take at Eastern are going to be free, and of course the cost of textbook will be additional. But sometimes you can order electronic books that are much less than a hard copy books. Suppose the same textbook that you are using for this class, you paid most likely 180. If you bought it new, electronic versions, if they are available, they are much cheaper. And for